And very likely it won't use against Haris Ibrahim, because Haris Ibrahim would be waiting for that kind of case, and you make him a hero. So you look for people who are not ready to be hero, and then you find yourself caught in a case. So that's how you collapse. So it's very important, if you want to make sure that you don't get targeted, always act very bravely. Put up, a stern face and say, "Come, I'm waiting for you." Then they won't touch you. The moment you show that you're scared on the internet, you'll be the next one.
I'm not as sanguine about it as Chinhua is. I think they will also go after the Malaysia Chinese and the Haris Ibrahim, because they're wanting to have more control over the flow of information. They've said right from, I think that the first time I remember it being said was in about 2001, "We're watching you," to Malaysia Kini and to Haraka. They want you to know that they wanted to scare both Haraka Daily Online, the online version, and Malaysia Kini into keeping quiet. And they want to scare people like Haris Ibrahim as well. They will know that they can't do that just by making a big noise. They need to have the tools at their disposal. And at the moment, this, I think, is what they're saying. We don't have those tools at our disposal. They do. But they are very reluctant to use them online. And the reason why they're reluctant to use them online, and Mahathir has said this, is because they're worried about the economic repercussions of online censorship. China censors things online, but it's a big enough market to get away with it. Google is not going to withdraw from China because of China's online censorship. But they take a beating every time they are found out to be censoring things online. If it's the Malaysian market, Google have just opened up their headquarters for the region here. Are they really going to keep their headquarters here if there is concern from the international community about online censorship in Malaysia? I think this is the biggest tool we have to fight the proposed changes to the laws. And I think that it's the tool that the Malaysian government is most scared of, and it was the reason why they put Article 3 into the Communications and Multimedia Act in the first place. Article 3 of the Communications and Multimedia Act is the one that says nothing in this act shall be interpreted as censorship of the internet. It's interesting that I feel that they have reinterpreted that particular clause to mean that if we do it, it's not censorship, rather than that we won't censor. But the reason why that clause is there is because Microsoft basically asked for it and put pressure on the Malaysian government to put it there. So, yeah.
Sorry. No, the line that pay attention to what Sonia has said, nothing in this act, right? Nothing in this act doesn't mean that nothing in other acts. And as far as I remember, nothing in the CMA actually say that it actually invalidates other acts. So sedition acts still apply. PPPA, as I say, if you want to stretch it, it can be applicable on internet.
And that was a watering down of the Bill of Guarantees under the Multimedia Super Corridor, which said that there will be no censorship of the internet. You can see the way in which they've changed the application of, it's Article 233, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, she says looking towards CIJ people, of the Communications and Multimedia Act. It was originally just used, as Asmi was saying, for pornography. And pornography was the biggest target, along with gambling and sites which targeted the royal family. There was one site in particular where it had actually been owned by one of the royal families, and then they let their subscription lapse, and they kept the front pages there, but every link that you clicked on it led to a porn site. And so that was investigated. As far as I recall, that was the only bit about royalty that they actually investigated until the Perak crisis. But it's being used more and more for silencing political dissent and for targeting political news and analysis. So they're trying to expand their tools. And I think that one of the reasons why they want to use the CMA more than the Sedition Act and the other pieces of legislation is because of the people who are implementing it. The police have not shown themselves to be wonderfully tech-savvy. The Malaysia Kini raid in 2004, 2003, It was about on the 20th of January of this particular year, Malaysia Kini was raided, and the way in which the raid took place was technically incompetent. If there had been anything incriminating on the Malaysia Kini servers and computers, they had about 6 hours in which they could have erased it. And in that time, you can do a pretty thorough job of getting rid of information, even on a computer. You can wipe it and double wipe it and whatever it is that you need to do to get rid of things quite clean. So, they showed, as I say, a remarkable degree of technical incompetence before they carted the offending computers away. And I think that they recognise that the police don't have the savvy to deal with online problems, and that's why they're trying to put it under the Communications Multimedia Commission instead.
I can testify to that. When I was arrested 2009, they actually put me to be investigated by the commercial crime section. Unfortunately, I have not done anything as such. Otherwise, I probably would have been, much more richer than today. And the whole reason they put me under commercial crime is that anything that's internet would go under commercial crime, and anything that you do on internet, they consider you as a blogger. Because at that time, I didn't even post anything on my blog. I just sent out email. But for the police, it's just basically, if you are active on the internet, you're a blogger, and then you go under commercial crime department. So that could be a reason that why they want to use it. But to think of it another way is using PPPA is to make the online journalists becoming more like their counterparts in the print. Because the print journalists have been much more subservient of the threat, and some of the things can carry over. In the past, the internet journalists would think that, well, they wouldn't touch me. But you have to remember that something makes internet journalism much more fragile. It's the competition in time, in timeliness, that you have to be faster than others. So technically, there's a higher chance of internet journalists making mistake in fact-checking than print journalists, because you have time to correct it. But in internet, probably because of that competition pressure, you simply just post something, and all they need was just to go through thousands of errors to find one that is fatal enough, and then charge you. And all you need is just a successful example to show people and say, this is what happened to you if you are not being responsible online. And what do you mean by being responsible? Remember just a few months ago, there's a girl who claimed to be a girlfriend of a prince in Johor?
I don't read.
Wasn't that there was a case? Wasn't that there was a case? I remember there was a case that someone who claimed to be a girlfriend of a Johor prince, and she ended up in trouble. Now, go to UK website and look around for people who claim to be fiancé of Prince Williams. I don't think anyone will get into trouble. But in Malaysia, you get investigated by police. This is the extent of how far they may go.